There are some things that you definitely want to avoid doing in Finland, and in this video I'll show you 12 tips what not to do in Finland. What's happening, Fintastic? My name is Aleksi and I make authentic, fun and useful videos about Finland. So if you are interested in Finland, do me a favor, hit that subscribe and the bell button too so you don't miss any awesome Finnish stuff on this channel. Hey, what's up, man? I was just around the neighborhood and thought about giving you a quick visit. How are you doing? While it might be a fun idea to surprise your Finnish friend with a surprise visit, chances are that it can backfire. Because Finns respect their privacy, private time, their free time, so you definitely want to think twice if it's gonna be worth it to show up unannounced. So my advice is just get to know your Finnish friend well enough, and if they like, then why not do it every once in a while, but if they don't, then avoid this at all costs. Perkele, we were supposed to meet at 5. And now it's 5:05 and he's still not here. Time is such a holy thing for Finnish people. If you agree on a meeting or activity with the Finnish people, make sure you come on time. And if you agree to meet at 5, it means 5 sharp. And at least for me, for example, I think even 5 minutes is considered late. So it's better to come up a little bit early than risking it to be late with the Finnish person. And for example, if you say around 5, for Finnish it means also 5 sharp, so be careful and respect the time of Finnish people. If you get invited to a Finnish home, make sure you remove your shoes, because that's just so unpolite to come inside and you know you're gonna bring all the dirt, the snow, the rust, whatever you bring with your shoes inside the Finnish house, and that's not what you want to do. I know this is pretty much common sense, but in Finland you have to be really careful for this one. Good stuff, good stuff. Kind of the same stuff with the shoes. Don't wear hat indoors. If you enter an apartment, a grocery store, a shop, it's really polite to take off your hat. This is definitely something that some Finns don't really care at all. If you go out there, shopping malls, shops, you always see some Finns wearing hats. But in my personal opinion, that is just absolutely ridiculous. If I see like a person wearing a hat inside a university, then I immediately make this image for myself that this person might not have such a good manners. And then I know this is like a small thing, but you know, the first impression builds up from small pieces, and this is also something. Don't wear hat indoors in Finland. And especially never do that when you are eating. Never ever wear anything on your head when you are eating. Period. Hey man, what's up? Why are you not drinking anything? Are you feeling okay? You know, I just don't feel like drinking tonight. Whoa, that's not a good sign. Oh man, the alcohol in Finland, it's pretty much, some people might even say it's also holy as like some things like time, but it's just true that alcohol is part of the Finnish culture. And if you are a party and you're not drinking that much, some people might come to say like, hey, what's wrong? But don't think it as offensive, because it's just like a kind of standard that if you go in the party, people drink quite a lot of alcohol, but it doesn't mean that you have to drink it. You can just say like, you know, I can have fun without alcohol, or I'm just having a few tonight, or you're driving, whatever. Like, you don't have to get offended by that. Just keep in mind that in Finland, it's just a kind of normal thing to drink booze and beer and cider and long drink in a parties. Keep that in mind. You know, this Finnish long drink is pretty good, but this one is finished. Whoa, what are you doing, man? And continuation for the party ones, like in Finland you get actually money for bringing the cans back to the shop. So don't crush or destroy the cans, because that's gonna piss off Finns, because that's almost as the same thing as flushing money down the toilet. If you are at a Finnish party, don't crush the cans. There's usually like a bag in the parties where you can just put the empty cans, because that's some real cash when you bring them back to the shop. What are you doing, man? Oh man, the famous Finnish personal space. You should be fine if you just use common sense. If you don't know them, don't get too close like this, because that's gonna look weird. And if you go in the Finnish buses, you can see that there are usually these 2 seats per pair, and usually one of them is occupied by a Finn, and the second seat will not be occupied unless all the other single seats will be. So again, it's just kind of like a part of our culture. Don't think it's weird, it's just Finnish. I've heard this good analogy that Finnish people are like coconuts. It's like really hard on the outside and really soft like milk and sweet in the inside. So you just have to take things slow, kind of take time to break the outer shell. When you do, things will be open up and will be one of the best people for you in your life. Hei! Mitä sä luulet tekevästä? Takas jonon perällä niin kuin olis jo. Alright, another pretty holy thing for Finnish people. Queuing. And every time when there's a new department store, supermarket opens in Finland, they usually give out some free stuff like buckets. That's right, buckets. Finnish people love free stuff. They are willing to travel and queue for hours in order to get their hands on those free stuff. I'm not kidding, seriously. If you are queuing with Finns, don't ever skip the queue. And I know this is kind of common sense stuff, like why would you skip the queue anyway? But remember that queuing in Finland is really special. Hey, is it true that in Finland you have to learn Swedish? Yeah, that's right. Why? Okay, well, let's practice some Swedish then. Hej, jag heter Axel, jag kommer från Sverige och jag spelar ishockey på min fritid. Jag tycker att träffa nya människor och dricka öl och att spela dataspel. Min favoritspel är Super Mario Odyssey. You know, Finland and Sweden go way back together and share a long history. And even today, there's still a rivalry going on between Finland and our western neighbor, Sweden. It is true, we have to learn Swedish at school because it's the second official language, but Swedish language doesn't really have a major role in everyday Finnish life. If you are Swedish or a person who knows some good Swedish and you just assume that, okay, maybe they will speak Swedish, let's try. No. You're just gonna piss them off. Seriously, I'm not kidding. And I personally like Swedish, so even if someone actually started spoke Swedish to me, that would be fine because I like to actually brush up my Swedish. But pay attention that in everyday Finnish life, you check the random Finnish people. First of all, they probably can't reply to you in Swedish because most of the Finnish people have like kind of rushed Swedish skills, including myself. And 2, the rivalry between Sweden and Finland. Have you ever listened to some Swedish music like ABBA or Europe? The music is so good and it's so much fun to listen to their music and watch their music videos, also awesome. And Swedish girls, they're so hot, like mwah, mwah, mwah. Back to the Sweden part. We should actually do a separate whole video about Sweden, between Sweden and Finland. But again, because of the rivalry, don't just praise Sweden randomly in front of Finns, because that's gonna piss them off, because, you know, we used to belong under the reign of Sweden. It still kind of lingers on even today. But if you're having just a constructive discussion between Finland and Sweden, then it's obviously okay to bring out some stuff that you might think in Sweden is better than Finland, but don't do it just randomly, because that means that, okay, this guy is like promoting Sweden, like what the hell is he doing? So be careful when bringing out these kind of comparisons between Finland and Sweden, because if you just praise Sweden randomly in front of Finns, you're going to piss them off. Serious stuff. And then when I was just about to go to talk to that girl, she was smiling because she looked so pretty and stuff, and then I just went to her and said, hey, talking about hot girls, look at that girl, she looks so nice. And this is also important. If you are speaking with a Finnish person, let them finish first, because interrupting in Finnish culture is considered rude. In some cultures, actually, interrupting is considered as a sign of interest. So let's say that if you're having a conversation and then you interrupt, that means that gives like the sign to other person that, okay, this person is interested, but not in Finland, be careful. So if you are talking with Finn, let them finish first and then bring your comments, opinions aloud to them. Hey man, check out my new shirt. These stripes look so great, and this black and white combination is such a perfect shirt. Did you know that? Bragging, you know, like Finnish people are modest, honest, and so on. So bragging doesn't really do you well in this one. If there's something you want to bring out and let people know, don't bring it directly because you're just gonna come across a douchebag. So instead, again, remember what I said, take time with Finns, get to know them, talk to them, let them open up to you, and then you can start to tell about your interesting background and stuff. But if you just bring them on from the bat, you're just gonna piss Finns off. Ah, that Axel dude, he was pretty fun, but he told me that we would go to grab a beer, but it never happened. Also the empty promises. Like I said, Finns are pretty modest and honest, like they usually say what they mean. If you meet a Finnish person in some kind of occasion, it could be like semi-formal and stuff, and you get to know them, maybe get their contact information, and if you say like, hey, maybe we should grab a beer sometime, then we Finns usually assume that it's going to happen at some point. If that's never gonna happen and you meet them later, the Finns like, oh, that's the dude, like he was inviting me to some stuff, but nothing never happened. This is something you have to be careful, and I have to admit that me, because I'm kind of like a social person, I like to talk to new people, and I have to say that I have to admit that I sometimes make mistakes with this one, because especially currently because my life is quite busy. So I might say like, hey, let's exchange contact information and see if we can maybe get together sometime. And it never happened, and I know I make mistakes sometimes. If you hang out with Finns, you suggest them something to do at some point, make sure you will also follow up on that one, because otherwise Finns might think that you are like a shallow person. Do you agree with the stuff that I just told you? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe so you can join our fantastic squad and you get all the fantastic videos and content in the future as well. See you in the next video. Sommar!